Appreciate y'all for pulling up. I'm your host, Gabos. We back with another one. I had dropped a video earlier. I don't know. Some people think I'm celebrating the fact that Daniel Jones is gone. First of all, I never celebrate anybody getting fired, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care how rich you are. Getting fired sucks. But in the grand scheme of things, to put things into perspective, Daniel Jones, you a millionaire. I don't feel sorry for your pockets, not one iota, bro. You got paid over $100 million to suck ass. Just keeping it a bean. But we got microphone getting into the New York Giants are releasing Daniel Jones. Yeah, bro, I just hate the New York Giants front staff. Let's get right into it.
Respectfully, shut the hell up. The New York Giants, respectfully, shut the hell up.
And, you know, understand it.
Y'all are sorry.
Agreed.
Y'all are pathetic.
Fish.
The only reason why you get away with it is because the Jets have been worse.
How do you not wonder, well, why was I the number two the whole time then? Why wasn't he the number two then, if that's what you saw?
So a few days ago, we made a video on the end of Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, and that was just a video that pertained to Daniel Jones being benched by the New York Giants. Today, the Giants took it a step further, really putting their foot down and telling their fan base where this team's future lies. So before we get to the content, we're on the grind to 1 million subscribers. Make sure you subscribe.
Giants are punting this season. If you're a Giant fan, y'all not gonna win a single game rest of the year, bro. I promise you they're tanking. You can't convince me otherwise why they would start Vinny Testaverde. What? I said Vinny Testaverde. Wow. DeVito. You can't justify starting DeVito over Drew Lock, who's a known starter. You know what I mean? He's a young quarterback. I think he's like 26, 27. Won a big game last year when he played for Seattle against the Eagles. The kid could play. DeVito can't. So the fact that you're going straight to the third quarterback on the roster over the second lets me know that the Giants are punting this season. It's over. GG's. GG's. Let's go, Mike.
Man, doesn't mean it has to be over for the rest of us. Thankfully, I live in Los Angeles, so if I want to go and see any Rams or Chargers games, you best believe that I'm using SeatGeek. I personally love SeatGeek because they do a great job educating what the best microphone waiting for. Take out your phone and get your fortunately.
I got all these sponsors. Microphone eating, man.
Also in the description down below, and thank you.
Now you got the SeatGeek app.
We discussed how the New York Giants finally decided to bench Daniel Jones, and the reaction from their fan base was very mixed. On one hand, fans were very excited about the fact that the New York Giants were essentially signaling that this is the end of the Daniel Jones era. But at the same time, fans of the New York Giants and even players that played for the New York Giants are very confused about the way that this move has been handled. Look, I know I've shown you clips in the past of Malik Neighbors not necessarily being the biggest fan of Daniel Jones.
He did talk to Daniel Jones. He was just like, you know, I'm happy that you're here.
Daniel said he was trying to give me the ball. He saw a lot of pressure in his face, so, I mean, I can't control that, so. Nah, I mean, nothing really different. I mean, watch the target tape. That was it. I was up.
And I'll be honest, the New York Giants haven't really done the greatest job trying to indicate to their fan base that they know what they're doing. And honestly, I think the worst thing that could have happened for this entire staff was going on the off-season edition of Hard Knocks. Because Joe Schoen looked terrible in regards to how he handled the Saquon Barkley situation.
I'm torn, Ed, because I still think he can play and I think he can help us.
Fresh.
I didn't want to come in at a number because I really don't have a great idea where the market is. If you want to come back and be a Giant, let's try to make sense.
Even Brian Daboll looked corny trying to interview Jaden Daniels. I mean, look at the way he slouched back here asking Jaden Daniels if he really wants to be a New York Giant.
Let's cut to the chase. What's up? Would you want to be here? Would you want to be here? Quarterback for the New York Giants. Yeah. Okay. That's first. That's important to me. And you'd feel good about being here.
I feel good.
Okay. That's number one.
But when it came time for the NFL draft, I think.
Why is he saying, yeah, what the hell?
Okay. That's number.
Stand back, kick foot on the counter like he's the Godfather. Like he's Tom Coughlin. Yo, Dave Ball. Bro, you probably wouldn't even, even if y'all sign JD5, there's no guarantee you probably gonna be there to coach him. Trash ass. Sitting there like he's some shot caller, bro. Bro, you coming off of what, a 4-win season? Huh? The only reason you're talking to JD5 in the first place is because your Giants sucked. Didn't want to be here.
Number one.
But when it came time for the NFL draft,
What?
I think the New York Giants made the right move. They weren't in a good situation to draft a quarterback anyway, unless if they wanted to reach on Bo Nix, but at the time of the NFL draft, a lot of scouts had Bo Nix as a second-round prospect. Obviously, he turned out to be the second best or the best quarterback in this year's NFL draft so far, but I'm not going to say that the New York Giants messed up.
Bo Nix is surprising me. I ain't gonna front.
Because their goal was to give Daniel Jones one opportunity to show them that he can be their franchise QB, and they already signed him to a big contract extension following.
I'm not even gonna lie. I know this ain't about Bo Nix, but just a random thought. Bo Nix is like the first quarterback I've ever watched that's literally gotten better each week. If you look at Bo Nix, he came from week 1 to week 11. It's like 2 different quarterbacks. Two different. Like, I kid you not. Kid looked like he couldn't throw 5 yards week 1. Now it's like 300 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. It's like, whoa, Denver's legit. Literally has gotten better each week. Look at his stats.
2023 season anyway. The benching of Daniel Jones caused a huge ripple effect in the Giants organization. For one, Giants players aren't really happy with this benching, believe it or not. I mean, I'm sure Malik Neighbors is to a certain extent, but most of the players in the organization understand that this was done primarily because Daniel Jones needed to play a certain amount of games this year in order to get a bonus in his contract. And the fact that he was benched before he could meet that requirement made the Giants organization come off as fairly classless. And this is a very big deal because whenever players are evaluating teams to sign with in free agency, they take things like this into consideration. It's a huge reason why the Dallas Cowboys aren't able to get any big free agents, because nobody wants to play for a football team whose team owner flies in on a helicopter as they're practicing. It gets even stranger. You see, according to Jordan Schultz, there is disappointment among some Giants players regarding how the Daniel Jones situation was handled over the past week, especially with players aware that it was primarily a financial
It's the old Derek Carr shit.
This is what Dexter Lawrence had to say.
Hard, but I've been a part of this business. Just like last year when they traded my best friend in the middle of the season. It's part of the business, and I understand that part of it.
And believe it or not, Dexter Lawrence is correct. Another offensive player said over the phone, "We're not idiots. They did it because of money, so be it. But Daniel has been all class, never complained, and is now being completely disregarded. The team record is bad. You can point fingers everywhere. To try to blame him is trash, and making him third string is weak as f." The sense I've gotten from multiple sources, players, coaches, and executives, is that the issues within the organization go far beyond just one person. And Tommy DeVito would be named the starter, which is even more confusing because, with all due respect, Tommy DeVito isn't the best quarterback on this roster. It's almost as if the Italian mob has some sort of dirt on Joe Schoen, which I don't really know what dirt they could possibly have, especially after Schoen's appearance on the off-season edition of Hard Knocks. I mean, his son literally told him to draft Jaden Daniels, for crying out loud.
What do you want me to take? Give me a name. Jaden Daniels. Trade up and get him. Okay, if Jaden Daniels. You only get this job once. I'm trying to win.
It's just crazy because last year, the New York Giants faced off against the New England Patriots in the regular season, and one of the worst games you would have ever seen. It came down to a 3-point game where the New England Patriots were in field goal range for a 35-yard attempt to potentially send the game into overtime. Their kicker, Chad Ryland, missed, and as a result of this miss, the Patriots were in position to select Drake May with the number 3 overall pick, whereas the New York Giants had to offer up an additional first-round pick to move up to the number 3 spot. And it was no secret that the Giants were doing everything they possibly could to potentially move on from Daniel Jones during this past offseason.
Yeah.
There just wasn't any good options really there, except maybe signing Russell Wilson. But it gets even worse. Drew Lock is really pissed off. If you're not going to play Daniel Jones, at least give Drew Lock an opportunity, because you did pay Drew Lock $5 million to be your backup QB. Not even Drew Lock is getting the start, and that $5 million could have gone a long way in retaining Saquon Barkley. I mean, what are the Giants doing? This is Drew Lock's reaction to the fact that he's not starting.
How do you not wonder, well, why was I the number 2 the whole time then? Why wasn't he the number 2 then, if that's what you saw?
Again, that's a question I might still have for myself. Nose expressed to me that I was going to be the 2, and I don't know, it's just an interesting situation.
Dirty business. I said in my previous video, the Giants are punting this season. To be honest, Drew Lock gives the Giants a chance to win. The Giants aren't trying to win. They're trying to suck as bad as they can so they can give themselves a decent chance at Shador or Cam Ward or like maybe even Milroe from Alabama if he elects for the NFL draft. The Giants do not care about winning. They thought they wanted Drew Lock. They paid you. Yeah, listen, man, they're paying you $5 million to not play. Life can't be that bad, right? So I'm not gonna. Excuse me. That one came from the gut. I'm not gonna shed tears for Drew Lock not starting, but the Giants are showing to be a little classless here. You know what I mean? Cutting Daniel Jones because you know you owe him money if he plays a certain amount of games. When the team sucked around him, Daniel Jones didn't really have an offensive line all year. Now, granted, I hate Daniel Jones as a quarterback, but I'm not going to act like it's all him. The Giants have been ass. Not keeping Quan, moving on from him. You know, Raven said it best. Tank mode in full effect. You know what I mean? So I don't really feel bad for Drew Lock. We know what this is. Come on now.
Not much I can really say about it besides, again, I'm gonna be.
They want Shador.
And
Tank for Shador is now activated.
No, yeah, I'm gonna be here for him. This team needs to get a win, and we start winning, everything gets a little better around here.
Now the reason why it's not Drew Lock
team does not need a win.
Guessed it, money. If you take a look at Drew Lock's contract, he gets $250,000 each for 40%, 50%, 60%, or 70% plus snaps. If he gets a 92.5 passer rating, a 65% completion rate, an 88 passer rating plus 15 touchdown passes, and an 88 passer rating plus 2,000 passing yards, he also gets $250,000. If the team gets a playoff berth, he gets $500,000 each. Respectfully, I don't think these are numbers that Drew Lock can hit at this stage of the season. Paying a guy and then avoiding trying to pay that guy is just hilarious. And when you consider the fact that the New York Giants could have opted to sign Russell Wilson instead in the offseason, it makes it double as hilarious. Russell Wilson was signed on a veteran minimum contract. So the fact that the Giants declined to sign him is just gives you an idea of where this organization is. Now things would get very, very sad.
I don't know what the hell they're doing,
this
yo.
Clip of Daniel Jones looking very disengaged in his first practice with the Giants would leak, and then the New York Giants would demote him to QB4 where he would be the scout team quarterback. And following that practice, Daniel Jones would come out and issue this statement, which essentially seemed like a gigantic goodbye.
The opportunity to play for the New York Giants was truly a dream come true, and I'm extremely grateful to the Mara and Tisch families for the chance to play here. The Giants are truly a first-class organization, and I have nothing but genuine respect and appreciation for the people who have built it and who helped carry on that tradition. I've met so many special people and created relationships that will truly last a lifetime. Thank you to all my teammates, coaches, and staff that have done so much for me these past 6 years. The reality of the NFL is it's hard to win games and requires consistent performance from everyone involved. We didn't do that well enough, so the idea to change something happens, and I understand.
I just hate the BS PR move, bro. Yo, Daniel Jones, look into the camera. Speak from the gut, bro. Stop reading something that your agent told you to read out loud to the media. Granted, players aren't real like that, bro. I wish players were more like MMA fighters. Like, guys in the UFC say whatever the hell they want. Yeah? You're not going to control my dialect. Yeah? You know what I mean? All this first-class organization. Bro, they just benched you so they wouldn't have to pay you $23 million guaranteed. And you not mad about that? They demoted you to fourth string. That don't plague your mind? That don't make your neck itch? The first thing you want to get up and say is that first-class organization? When Saquon wanted to stay there and they let him walk? Huh? First class? Drew Lock. They signed Drew Lock to a $5 million deal. He was told to be the second quarterback in command. They benched you, get rid of you, and all of a sudden Drew Lock still can't start? That's first class? Now, granted, he probably saying they first class because they gave him that $160 million contract, right? Yeah. So he's kind of paid to talk like this. So, but come on, man, be real. Like, you sick.
Love the game.
You sick.
I
Let
love
us
being
know you
part of the
sick.
team. I'm excited for the next opportunity and know that there's a lot of good football in front of me, and I'm excited about that.
He would also say he understood his limited involvement.
Well, you know, I got the injury guarantee, so that's that, and you know, understand it. You know, they don't want to take any risks. So yeah, you know, at that point, it's just do as you're told.
And I can understand this because making him QB4 behind Tim Boyle, in my opinion, was a little excessive at this point. So when we woke up this morning, the New York Giants officially announced it. According to Adam Schefter, Ari Meirov, Ian Rappaport, and Jordan Schultz, the New York Giants are releasing quarterback Daniel Jones after Jones asked for his release and the team decided to grant it after his benching. The Giants organization released this statement via John Mara. Daniel came to see me this morning and asked if we would release him. We mutually agreed that would be best for him and for the team. Daniel has been a great representative of our organization, first class in every way. His handling of this situation yesterday exemplifies just that. We are all disappointed in how things have worked out. We hold Daniel in high regard and have a great appreciation for him. We wish him nothing but the best in the future. I wish every quarterback that was drafted in the NFL had as long of a leash as Daniel Jones did, because in the case of the New York Giants, the one thing that they did right in this case was at least they gave him as much of an opportunity to grow as humanly possible. I've always defended Schoen's decisions in building around Daniel Jones. I mean, Evan Neal at a specific point was considered to be a top 3 pick in the 2022 NFL draft. He fell to the Giants at number 7, but he turned out to be a huge bust. Trading a 3rd round pick for Darren Waller was a good decision. Drafting Malik Neighbors clearly was a good decision. The Giants did their absolute best to build around Daniel Jones, but it seems like every decision they made ended up being a gigantic whiff. And honestly, the bad decisions outweigh the good. It seemed like no matter what you did for Daniel Jones, he was just giving you the same result over and over again once he got paid. And just looking at his career, I wished more teams gave their quarterbacks the opportunity that Daniel Jones received. I wished more quarterbacks got to play 70 games in their entire career before the team finally decided that they were going to move on from him. We saw the Colts at one point give up on Anthony Richardson prematurely this past year. We saw the Carolina Panthers bench Bryce Young this past year and then eventually bring him back. I wish teams would give their quarterbacks a longer leash because the Giants did everything they possibly could, and they never scapegoated Daniel Jones. They put the blame finger on themselves until this past year. Daniel Jones had to play with 3 different head coaches. He never really had a truly dominant wide receiver core, but even if he did have that wide receiver core, I don't really think he'd be able to do much with it. He came out of Duke University as a tall dink and dunk quarterback that also had an above average athletic ability. Given this skill set, I really think that Daniel Jones will find a lot of success as a backup quarterback for the remainder of his career in the NFL. And who knows, he might have the potential to be the next Geno Smith or Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. But at the very minimum, he has the skill set to
I want to give him Baker.
Backup, and I'm sure he'll find success on another team. I'm sure he's not that sad about it because he got a huge payday already once in his career, which is more than what Mitchell Trubisky or any other previous draft bust did get. If you're a Giants fan, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about Daniel Jones's release. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Yo, I think Daniel Jones is going to be a great backup quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is done too. Damn, there's so many videos. Yo, listen, I think Daniel Jones is going to be a great backup. Like, him coming off the bench is great. Like he can play. It's just the money that he was getting paid and the tasks that they were asking him to do, the Giants just didn't have enough. A dude like Daniel Jones need a running game. He needs an O-line. He needs an offensive coordinator that plays to his strengths. You basically have a dysfunctional organization, no running game, no pass protection, 1-star receiver, and a bunch of other jags. And it's just too much for a quarterback that's just mid. I say all the time, Daniel Jones can't throw the deep ball. He can't. I really don't trust him to throw passes past 20 yards. I've seen 6 years of it. Man has won 22 wins and like 44 losses. We're good. He's a great backup though, but we'll see how it all ends. The kid is rich at the end of the day, so we ain't gonna be crying. We're not gonna be shedding tears over this, right? All right, but this was the New York Giants are releasing Daniel Jones, bro. It's set in stone. Finally, a new era for the Giants, bro. This man is Eli Manning without the rings, okay? I'm sick of it. I'm glad it's done. I'm gonna holler at you guys next video, bro.